My name is Dale Cron. Family farm is Paragon Farms, and it's been in the family for 60-some years. This location is in Abbotsford. We've got broiler chickens here, and there's about 75,000 birds here. So my grandfather started the farm in the 60s, and I'm the third generation. My parents were involved, my uncle, and they kept expanding the farms and making sure that we've got enough work for all the grandkids to do over the years. We've all had our time working on the farm as kids. What I do in the day, I get up, I'm in the barns, I check on the health, check on the environment of the birds, make sure the temperature's right, they've got air, make sure that they've got water, and they've got feed. Those are the big things, and then from there we go on to the smaller things, making sure that the heat is consistent in the barn, making sure that the airflow is just where they want it, the humidity is perfect. So we balance the barn out with computers and manually too. We make sure the fans are all working and the equipment's all happy. So broiler chickens is the standard chicken that we grow. And a broiler chicken is just the chicken that you eat, as opposed to a pullet, which is a baby chicken being raised to lay eggs, or a breeder chicken, which is the mom chicken that's laying the eggs for the broilers, the chicken that we eat. So that's the main name of the chicken that we're talking about and that we grow here. So as far as breeds are concerned, you've got the major ones that we have is Ross broiler breed and Cobb. So those are two larger companies that have created their own breeds, and they send them up to Canada for us to grow birds. Now there's some other breeds out there, heritage breeds, which may be in the organic realm. We've got some specialty birds for different markets. So we've got the Asian market, which uses Taiwanese type birds. Silkies is another type of bird that is a specialty market. The broiler chickens are only the chickens that you eat. We don't keep them until they lay eggs. They are brought to the processing plant before that happens. Breeder chickens, they are the egg-laying hens, and they lay the eggs that come here. We also have just standard table egg chickens, and those are separate chickens altogether. And those chickens, their job is just to lay eggs for the table egg market. Those are the eggs you'd find at the grocery store in the cartons, and you boil them, whatever, crack them open, have some bacon and eggs. So the main three phases of chicken production are the breeder farm, and then the hatchery, and then the broiler farm. From there, we've got the processing plant as well, but that's at the end of life. At the hatchery, you've got the eggs have arrived at the hatchery from the breeder farm, and 21 days later, after carefully controlled environment, those eggs hatch and little chicks come out, and on the same day those chicks are brought out to our farms. Big truck comes and delivers them. They put them inside the barns, and for next 30 to 50 days we keep those chickens here. We raise them, maintain them, temperature, health, biosecurity, all these things, food, water, air. And at that point, they are put on a truck. At the middle of the night, they come and they grab these chickens, put them in the truck, they collect them, put them into crates, and those trucks they end up they bring to the processing plant. And the processing plant now deals with the chickens there, and they make them into food. They make them into different cuts of meat. The BC chicken industry produces $1.1 billion towards the Canadian GDP. We have about over 300 chicken farmers, and the number of chickens we produce in a year is over 170 million chickens. The priority of the barns is making sure the chickens are happy and healthy, making sure that they've got everything that they need to grow. That would be fresh water, food, with the right nutritional value, and air. Those are the big three items that we look at, which is feed, water, and air. And so on a daily basis, we go in there, we walk the barns, we feel how the air is up top where we are, we feel how it is down where the chickens are, make sure that the air is cycling through the barn correctly, making sure that when they're younger, they've got more heat, and when they're older, they're fully feathered, they don't need as much heat. We also make sure that the food's nutritional value is maintained, making sure they get the right amount of proteins and fats, minerals, energy. We also go in there and ensure that all the equipment, of course, is working, and maintain that equipment in order to maintain the bird's optimal health. A big thing that we look at is the health of the bird themselves. So we look at, are they suffering in any way? Do they have any sicknesses or diseases? Do they have any colds? Just like humans, we get colds, we get diseases. We do the same thing, almost like the bird's doctors in some way. We nurture them, we check them out daily to make sure that they're doing well. So biosecurity is the act of controlling the environment and making sure that any outside diseases, sicknesses don't come into the barn. So we have strict biosecurity on all our farms in BC. Actually in Canada, we've got very strict guidelines on what we can and cannot do, and how we enter the barns even, and how we deal with the chickens when they're both day-to-day and on the way out. To deal with biosecurity, we have gates on our driveways to ensure that random cars don't just drive in, because there's all sorts of wild bird diseases out there that can come in through vehicles. They can come in through the people, so if the people are coming onto the farm, we make sure that they've got full, what we call PPE, personal protective equipment. So they've got coveralls on that are fresh and that haven't been outside. They've got fresh boots on. Often we'll request hats to make sure that the hair doesn't have disease in it, and masks as well, both to protect the birds and to protect the humans from any dust that might be there. My grandfather's technology was a brand new barn, which was made out of just basic timber and fans that were electric as opposed to just opening up a window. And so that was technology in the day. Manually operated fans, they were electric, but you had to adjust them each day to the right speed, and you'd have to open up the vents manually throughout the day depending on as the temperature went up and the temperature went down. Nowadays, things have changed. 20 years ago when I started, we had basic computers that did operate on temperature, and they operated on how much fan speed we had. And so it was amazing because we didn't have to monitor it throughout the day, just a few times a day and a few times at night. Now, the computers operate on, they do all the work as far as maintaining the optimal environment. The computers monitor the temperature, the carbon dioxide levels, the ammonia levels, the humidity, and they balance all the fans and the vents for us. The most important part of the job is actually watching the birds. It sounds easy, but to actually go into the barn, walk the barn and feel the environment that they're in, and then to sit down on a bucket and just watch how they're interacting with each other and their environment. That is the most important thing. That gives all the clues we need to know, are they happy, are they healthy, are they getting what they need physiologically. The biggest challenges that we face right now are diseases. The various diseases that come from all over the world now that we've got so much air transportation, car mobility, people are moving all over the world so quickly, and they bring diseases with them, and they bring it to the locations that we've got on the farms, just on the public roads, and we run the risk of bringing that into our barns when we're out in the world. So making sure that these birds are able to handle those diseases or are separated from those diseases is the biggest challenge we face. Some of the social and environmental responsibilities we have are what we do with our waste, how we deal with the air quality that's around us, how we deal with our neighbors, and how we share what we do with the public, with kids. And so one of the programs that we have is Poultry in Motion, and with Poultry in Motion we bring the farm to the schools or to the fairs, because we try not bring the fair people and the kids anymore onto the farms because of the biosecurity issues we're increasingly facing. In regards to education, we really want the kids to understand and society to understand how we raise these birds, why we raise them, and what we do to raise them, and the strict rules that we have in comparison to some of the other countries out there. There's a lot of regulation, but there's also a lot of heart that goes into raising these birds, making sure that these birds are healthy and happy. We as farmers really are concerned about our birds, not just because of money, but I mean, in some ways these are our pets. In a lot of ways we are raising them, and we keep them for a short time, but we do get a connection with them. As far as environmentally conscious, some items that we focus on are making sure that our neighbors are happy, first of all, with dust, and making sure dust remediation is taken care of as best we can. We grow trees around where the fans are in order to try and keep the dust down. So we call those windrows, or we have berry fields buffering between us and the next neighbor. As far as other items in the environment, we deal with our manure very strategically. We make sure that when we take the manure out, if it's not kept on site, and kept on site we mean like in a housed area so we don't get runoff into aquifers, then we take this manure and we ship it out in sealed trucks for the most part to a location that can use it, whether it's berry fields so that they can use natural manure rather than chemicals, or we take them to other communities that have poor soil and they can use this manure as part of a composting regime to enhance the soil. Well, if somebody wants to choose farming as a career choice, livestock farming or plant farming, anything in agriculture, first of all, the ideal thing is to find someone that's doing it and explore what their daily life is like. Tail them, shadow them, find out what they do, spend some time with them. Experience what they experience on farm, and then see if that's something that interests you. If you were thinking more about the support in agriculture, you don't have to be a farmer. You could also be support to farmers. So farmers need accountants, farmers need vets, and farmers need bankers, agriculture bankers, people that understand what they're going through and how to handle their finances differently than, say, just a regular business. Chicken is an awesome source of protein, first of all. It's very low in fat and high in protein and really easy to cook, and it's convenient. You can go to any grocery store and get it very quickly. Similar to eggs and turkey, you can get this. You can take a turkey or a chicken breast and you can fry it up, you can barbecue it, you can have it at a party, or you can just have it as a snack. It's really versatile. And I think there's probably the most recipes on chicken than on any other thing that I've seen on the internet.